Now, in the last 1 week, there is a lot that has happened in Pakistan and has made ISI a little worried. There has been an alleged abduction and killing of the son of Hafiz Saeed, the notorious terrorist that is given safe harbors by Pakistan. Then there was a video circulating of a close associate of Hafiz Saeed, the Lashkar-e-Toiba founder, who has been allegedly murdered. He's been shot at and he has died. There is a third report of a twin terrorist attack that has taken place in Balochistan in Pakistan, which has led to the deaths of several military personnel. Now, there is one thing common in all these attacks that have taken place, which is the ISI Pakistan is now blaming all these attacks on India and its intelligence agency. Now, amidst these claims that are being made by Pakistan, it is laughable, ludicrous, and has no credibility to the claims that are being made by Pakistan. I'm going to start my conversation with Ambassador Deepak Vora. Now, Ambassador, it looks like with the Canadian Prime Minister going Pakistan route, Pakistan is again coming out with videos after videos to, I don't know on what basis, substantiate its claim that India is the one who is perpetrating violence and terrorism and so on and so forth. But it is actually the truth that because Pakistan continued to harbor terrorists in its backyard to cause trouble, to foment trouble in India, in Kashmir, in other parts of our borders in Punjab, these snakes have come to bite Pakistan.
Right, ma'am. Thank you very much. Always an honor and a pleasure, ma'am, to be on NewsX. I'm far away in the remote Himalayas in the far north of the country at the Mahabodhi International Meditation Center. My signal here is a bit iffy, so in case I get disconnected, it wouldn't be that the Pakistanis have got me or the Canadians. It would just be that the signal has collapsed. Now, I've been in this business long enough. As you rightly pointed out, as worshippers congregated to observe the birthday of the Prophet, the twin suicide bombings hit Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, killing dozens. A few days earlier, one of this terrorist character, Hafiz Saeed's sons, was reportedly kidnapped and killed. One has no evidence. He has 6 children. Another close aide has been shot and killed a short while ago. They seem to be dying like flies. Is this a Pakistani message to an ailing Hafiz Saeed that, look, buddy, you've outlived your usefulness to us. It's time for you to go, and your 72 virgins are waiting desperately for you in whatever Jannat that you have. I've seen this in the course of my career, ma'am, in different countries. When a person from a different background outlives his utility to the intelligence setup of the host country, it's time to get rid of him. You know, Hafiz Saeed has been designated a terrorist by the United Nations, by Russia, by Australia, by India, by the United States, $10 million bounty on his head. He was becoming an embarrassment. So simply saying we have him under arrest and we put him in jail, that doesn't wash anymore. So he had to go. There's a saying, ma'am, it's terribly cynical, but we use it. Your life is of no value to me. Your death is no loss to me. Now, I believe this is what they have done with this character. He's an absolute scoundrel. Nobody really likes him. But the terror that he spread, and you have so rightly pointed it out, it's coming back to haunt the country that gave him shelter for so long. So now they want to get rid of him. They are in deep trouble financially. Every time they go to people with a begging bowl, they're asked, hey, what about these terror characters you have? Every time they want to go and participate in some international conference, hey, what about these terror characters you have? So you might as well get rid of them and then say with a straight face that we don't have him. So Shri Hafiz Saeed, I believe it's time for you. The 72 virgins are desperate. Now, either you commit suicide or you die, or somebody will give you an injection and you will go. And ma'am, please remember, I'm not saying that we've done it. But what did Prime Minister Narendra Modi say 4 years ago? I was at that meeting, ma'am, somewhere in Gujarat. election meeting, and he said something. मेरी फितरत है चुन चुन के बदला लेना, मारूंगा, and he wagging his finger, घर में घुस के. Well, if you don't want to believe him, you better believe him now.
Okay, all right. So, quickly getting you into the conversation as well, and I want to make a comparison over here. So, when we have been telling Pakistan that it is because of the terrorists it has been harboring, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, several of them, Mujahidins, they are all at this point of time have their safe havens, headquarters in Pakistan. Not just that, they have Babbar Khalsa that was located in Pakistan. Now, the Sikhs for Justice, we have the Khalistan Tiger Force. All of these individuals are being given safe harbors in Pakistan. That's where their origin point is. And we had been telling Pakistan that, listen, since you are giving these terrorists safe havens, they are going to come back and make your country into a rump state, make your country into a disastrous position that it finds itself in. Now, there was something of the same sort that has been intimated to Canada and the Canadian government and Justin Trudeau as well, that it has been harboring terrorists, it has given safe havens to this pro-Khalistani extremists, and it is going to come back to haunt Canada. The fact that Pakistan has already become a terrorist state, it has already gone down in this road which there is no coming back. But the fact that Canada has refused to pay heed to any of our intimations or any of our warnings that have been given, Canada will have to pay a high price for this.
Megha ji, thank you for having me on your show. In fact, the first and the most important thing is that, जिसे हिंदी में कहते हैं, जीवन और मृत्यु तो महाकाल की इच्छा से होती है. अब कारण और कारक कोई भी हो सकता है. That is what we believe in Sanatanis. So when these people die, the reasons can be any to many, it can be anybody. Now here the important thing is that you are harboring terrorists, you are giving terrorists a safe haven, and these terrorists have rivalries. They get old, they get aged, new gangs come in, the old gangs get redundant. And a bullet costs you how much? Maybe 50 rupees in today's time, but to keep a terrorist is a lot of money. So you might even spend 50 rupees and get rid of him. What is the Hafiz says use of you? And for Jastinder Singh Trudeau, what some people call him, you have to understand this. He has become the Pakistan of the West. He's not in becoming the Pakistan of the West. He is already the Pakistan of the West. And when you come to Pakistan, now what is the army slogan? Taqwa, Iman, Jihad, Fizibillah. That means we believe in Allah and we'll jihad in the name of Allah. So if that is the motive of the army, if jihad is the motive of the army, so you will have heroes. Their heroes will be Hafiz Saeed, and their heroes will be Lakhvi. And instantly, in due course of time, the new gangs come in, the new eventuality shape up, and they get killed. The old replaces the new. Because there is no elimination, there is no appointment letter, there is no retirement. Retirement is upar ja ke hi hota. So when the new lot comes in, the old rat has to retire. How does the retirement happen? Retirement is somebody puts a bullet in your head. And instantly, when you talk of Pakistan, Megha ji, everything is up for sale. It's the quantum and the quality and the amount of price you are ready to put. Even Hafiz Saeed is up for sale. Who sold Ayman al-Zawahiri? Pakistanis. Who sold Osama bin Laden? Pakistanis. All the designated terrorists, whoever they have been, either they have been sold, caught and killed in Pakistan, or Pakistanis sold information. So for them to say we did it and all is oxymoronic, and I want to send them one message. You are harboring terrorists, you are keeping terrorists, you have PO, you have these terror trading camps. All the jihadis of the world are found here. All the designated terrorists are found here. You see, every country has a right to self-defense. And a country which is the world's largest democracy with 1.4 billion people, Bharat is no exception to this rule. Bharat holds the right for its self-defense, and whatever and wherever we need to do in whatever circumstances, we'll do it. That doesn't mean we have done this. We have not done this. Of course, we don't do this. But you cannot start, keeping our enemies, and when they get killed, putting allegations and blames on us.
Yeah.
Like, where is the proof? Bhaiya, proof kahan hai? Your people are getting useless, they are getting aged, you're putting a bullet on them, 50 rupees aap kharch kar rahe ho, aur hame keh rahe ho ki we have done it. Why should we kill these perpetrators? We have nothing to do. They are cockroaches. You only are breeding cockroaches. These cockroaches can't do anything to us because they are eating a lot of your food. You want to get rid of them, so you put a bullet in their head and they release a video. That is as simple as that. And
Absolutely.
this Talaudi's son, and his son, what is his name? His son, Hafiz Saeed's son, was abducted in Peshawar. It was abducted by a Pathan possibly. Now the son will be somewhere near Wakhan Polido. Somebody will be interrogating him, or he will be kept as a bargaining chip. Why should we go there? What is our access there? How can we go there? We don't do all these things. You have only you people, like you have adapted Kulbhushan Yadav. You have that mentality. Your ISI is not able to retrieve Hafiz Saeed's son. The problem is, if Hafiz Saeed's son is not safe in Pakistan, who else is safe? तो सब एक हर एक का नंबर आना है, प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है?
Okay, fair enough. These comparisons that you make with Canada and Pakistan, Major General Siwach, is now Canada going Pakistan way? Something that has already been established. It's playing out once again with Canada, because when Trudeau comes out and says that India has killed Nijjar, and India has been giving proofs after proofs that, listen, there are these gangster wars, listen, there are these extremists, listen, there are these terrorists, and you should be wary of them. There are red corner notices that have been issued. Give us back those terrorists, and we want to have them on trial in our courts. Trudeau refuses to do it. So right now, perhaps the native Canadian is not bearing the brunt. But in the future, in the coming 5 years and 10 years and 15 and 20, Canada is then likely to have a terrorist attack, what has happened in Balochistan in Pakistan today.
Absolutely correct. Mega, it goes without saying. Canada is going Pakistan way. Remember when in 2013 Hillary Clinton came in Pakistan, she said that if you have got snakes in your courtyard and you think it will only bite your neighbors, one day they will bite you. And today is this condition happening in Pakistan, that Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaish-e-Mohammed are now becoming a threat to Pakistan itself. And today Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which was basically created, is now becoming a challenge for Pakistan itself. So the question comes, is Canada going the same way with the Pakistan goal? Obviously, the way Justin Trudeau is not realizing it, he is trying to support all these terrorist, Khalsa terrorist organization just for his political gain, domestic political gain. He has failed in all spheres. His track record is so poor, he cannot control health, he could not have inflation under control, he has a housing problem. On the top of that, his government is in minority, and the poor rate is dipped so low, it is only 27%. Yeah. And he has made use of Jagmeet Singh, who is a Khalistani activist. So if you make use of a Khalistani activist just for your political survival, you are now sending a message that it is free for all. So the terrorism slowly and steadily is increasing in Canada the way it has happened in Pakistan. So as on today, you feel that you are getting a deliverable from this terrorism. But in the end, the terrorism will eat you up. And this is bound to happen. And with Justin Trudeau is doing damage to his country. His father did the same thing in 2012 when India had asked for extradition of Talvinder Parmar. He was not sent back. And in 1985, what did he do? He did a Kanaiska blast in which 329 innocent civilians were killing, and more than 250 were the basically Canadian citizens. So the question is, as on today, Justin Trudeau is playing with fire. He is not understanding if he is not taking a support of the terrorists. He is encouraging terrorism in Canada, and one day the terrorism will eat up Canada the way today Pakistan claim to be victim of terrorism, which was created by themselves.
Okay, Major Trivedi, carrying forward this thought, and I mean, if you say in Canada the Khalistani extremism and terrorism is recent, would be a false statement to make, because when we delve deep, and we have done that on NewsX about all the investigations that took place and all the lapses that had taken place with the CSIS, their intelligence agency, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the police agencies, it was a botch-up job. And it doesn't seem like that there were fools that were hired, that were put on place, that were appointed by the Canadian government to run these agencies. Imagine it's a North American developed country, and its intelligence agency is so botched up, without any aptitude in them, that they deleted these tapes that had been recovered during the time of the blast or in the previously investigations that were taking place. So my question on the larger sphere being that this Khalistani support has been given by Canadian government after government, particularly when it comes to the Liberals, right from the time, as mentioned by my other panelists, when Pierre Trudeau was in power, a Liberal, and now his son, Justin Trudeau, taking forward this legacy.
Well, Megha, first and foremost, because I belong to Punjab and handled the Punjab insurgency for more than 6 years in the army as counter-insurgency operations. Well, Punjab has a very historic linkage with Canada, and Canadian government and the Canadian establishment has actually had a different approach, and that is to leverage the separatist elements, the elements which have, either anti-India stand or that stand which favors the Canadian politically. Now that has gone on for a number of years. So it's not a new phenomenon. And when we talk of Senior Trudeau, being warming up and in very close contact with these Khalistani elements, well, that is actually history. And this has started not only with Trudeau Senior, but even before that, because this demand has been simmering and it has got a political mileage. Point number one. Secondly, we need to understand that terrorism or low-intensity conflict, this is a very murky game. And no one can control the terrorists or the separatists because it's a double-edged weapon. And incidentally, I did a doctrine on low-intensity conflict for the Indian Armed Forces and handled this also in Jammu and Kashmir and in Manipur. So I like to make 2-3 very subtle points. First and foremost, these governments which try to patronize the terrorists or separatists actually play with the fire, because you see the latest case of Wagner. What happened? And they turned their whole stance very quickly. So therefore, the terrorists have no loyalty and they can change the stance anytime. Secondly, the governments which have tried to use terrorism actually have fallen prey to that, because as I brought out, that the terrorists will play the game to their own tune and they don't follow the political tune. So therefore, it is a very, very uncertain and very unstable kind of approach. And thirdly, this terrorism and this separatism has to be handled at multiple levels. And India has been the victim, and my state, Punjab, has been the victim, in fact. And in this, there are 3 major players. Pakistan actually is the epicenter, which controls the complete network of the terrorists and separatists. Secondly, the respective governments in particular countries, they sponsor and they make use of the terrorists. And third very important point is that these terrorists, actually it has become a business. In last, the formal agitation in Punjab, in which we suffered all. In fact, it was all sponsored largely by the Canadian and the elements like Pannu from the US. So my whole summation is that we need to take this very seriously, because this is a threat in being. Secondly, we need to come very hard on the Canadian government and all those governments which actually shelter these people. And thirdly, Pakistan has to be actually caught by the neck. So far, we have let them play the game and we have been taking on the insurgency on our own soil. But this game is now, I think, taken across, though it has taken time. But that's where the Pakistan game will be defeated. All I can say is the terrorists, separatists have political patronage, and we need to handle the forces at political level, at the military level. And Pakistan must be taken to task, because they are the epicenter of the whole game.
Okay, all right. Now, Ambassador Vohra, taking Pakistan head-on is one game. But when it comes to Canada, which is a North American country, it's a developed country, it has its association and allegiance to United States of America, another big, massive world power at this stage. In such a situation, what is the methodology and strategy that India needs to use? Because at this time, we continue to play this game on a diplomatic level and we are winning it. How are we going to compel the government of Canada to work in tandem with our government to extradite these terrorists?
Well, ma'am, that's a very, very good question. By the way, let me just say, I heard the two generals, I heard Mr. Sumit Peer, and now I understand why. As always, you are the best channel, and you yourself are just so good. These two outstanding soldiers and the political analyst. Mr. Trudeau's darling terrorist plumber, I wonder how many fellows in Canada had ever heard of this character. But so Trudeau felt that he had to raise the issue in Parliament. How many fellows in the United States or in Canada or in Britain or in Latin America or in Africa have ever heard of a buffoon called Hafiz Saeed? Nobody. But you have to keep sort of the pot boiling. As far as Canada is concerned, ma'am, you know very well we are taking the diplomatic offensive. Who responded, by the way, to Justin Trudeau's charges? Not the Indian Prime Minister. It was our outstanding external affairs minister. कि Trudeau साहब तेरी औकात यही है इससे ज्यादा नहीं है. I mean, I'm surprised that even our minister, who's brilliant, had to respond. I would have got a chaprasi in external affairs to say क्या बकवास कर रहा है Trudeau. Nevertheless, it's a decision that was taken. What he has said is organized crime, terrorism, narcotics coming in, etc., etc. All that he has talked about. I believe it will hurt them hard. One is our consultants for higher education already, and this is confirmed, are telling Indian students don't go to Canada. We have about 350,000. They contribute 20 billion with a B and 9 zeros dollars annually to the Canadian economy through the universities. That's kicking them where it hurts because they have no money. Second, ma'am, as you know that we've cancelled the OCI cards of people who are suspected of terrorism of Indian origin in Canada. There is now a demand being made, and please listen to this, that all Canadian citizens of Indian origin should not get the OCI. Then what happens? All these characters will turn around and say, oh, Trudeau, Papa ji, everything that we did because of you. Ab to sab kuch chala gaya. Our bank accounts have been frozen. Where's the beef? So now you better compensate us. Otherwise, buddy, you are next on our hit list. And then, ma'am, as you are aware, when the farmers were protesting against the farm laws, I used to drive from the nation's capital, Delhi, to Punjab frequently. And these fellows were sitting in porter cabins, air conditioned. I'd never seen that before. And each of those had a sign saying, gifted by such and such organization in Canada, gifted by World Sikhs from Canada, gifted by Sikh Federation of Canada, etc. Now, all that money which came in has been frozen, so it's not going to come in again. This is what is hitting Canada very, very hard. And plus, some of our traders have said, we're not going to buy any more lentils from Canada. It was one of our largest suppliers. Well, this may push up prices in India, but I'm sure we'll find Myanmar or somebody else to deal with it. Yeah. Kick them where it hurts. Hit them in the stomach. As Billubhai Clinton's election campaign in the 1990s said, it's the economy, stupid. Go for the jugular, ma'am. That's the economy. That's the money trade. And you'll see this disappear.
Absolutely. Sumit, again, talking about, hit them where it hurts the most, strike the iron when it's hot. The point that there have been no political games that our politicians have also not been able to play on this in terms of the sectarian violence and there used to be several of these incidents that were taking place in Punjab as well, right before the elections that had been brought in. In farmer protests also, there were a number of political leaders who came out wanting to play this game so as to get political mileage of this game. Unfortunately, they've not been able to do that, and this has worked in India's favor because when on foreign soil, a world leader calls India a terrorist nation or calls India a nation of assassins, that obviously then garners the support of the entire country, political leader or no political leader, to stand with India.
You see, Begaji, the problem here is that there are some leaders here who are opportunists. Unfortunately, there are some leaders and parties who have links with Khalistanis, and there is a Khalistani money which has come into their election campaigns, and it's the open secret. And I think the agencies know about each and everybody. They know everybody who's involved. It's a matter of time because now the crackdown is on the complete ecosystem, and the crackdown is on the complete ecosystem. It means people who are directly involved, indirectly involved, sympathizers, facilitators, and funders. So all of them are going to pay for what they have done. You see, this character, Jaswinder Singh Kyodo, he doesn't even know the difference between a Jawhar and Bajra, and he was supporting Indian farmers. Now, in his country, there is a plumber. There's a plumber who is on a no-fly list. How come now Sida Sada plumber is a no-fly list, and that plumber gets eliminated by somebody else? He's blaming India. He is harboring all kinds of terrorists. He's harboring all kinds of separatists. And when people like Fatima Baloch get killed, he doesn't know. When this Ripudaman Singh Malik get killed, he doesn't know. When ISI is able to run a free hand, he doesn't know. And what I want to, say is that, $20 billion is the biggest slap what you can give to him. We will give that. More important than that, if you really, really want to hit him for generations to come, you have to do one thing: stop immigration of skilled manpower from India to Canada. Because if you're able to make that different, because these are the people, it's our diaspora who's making and running the Canada. The skilled people, padhe likhe log, young, vibrant minds who are going there and running his countries, that is where it is going to hit him the most. And he's the same man. When our Sikh brothers did an agitation there, he said they're national security threat. Freeze their assets, tow away their trucks, and he imposed emergency there. The same Sikh brothers who on their sweat and blood made Canada, and the right when it is politically convenient to him, he sets the tones. And one thing has to go very clear, what Dr. Jaishankar said rightly. He said, look, the rule makers cannot be the judge, jury, and executioner for the others. You cannot make rules for me. And when it is politically convenient to you, you bend the same set of rules for your convenience. That is not going to happen.
Also, when you have...
It is not going to get dictated by you.
When you have these terrorists and they get killed and they get neutralized in whichever way, and then Pakistan goes out calling out India, saying that India has done it. This is the same example of the Khalistani terrorists getting killed in gang wars, and Canada calls India to be the culprit behind it. And when it comes to the matter of Pakistan and its terrorists, the rest of the world is backing India. They don't even care to make a comment. But when something of the sort happens in Canada, all these countries in the West come together and say that they are concerned about the matter, not really acknowledging and recognizing the fact that the person who has been killed is a terrorist, and in all likelihood a gang war that has led to his death.
You see, it is that white man supremacy. Because I am white, I am Caucasian, I am the neighbor of United States of America, I am technically the 51st state of United States of America, so khun maaf. I can get away with anything. I can harbor these Khalistanis. These Khalistanis can threaten my Prime Minister, can threaten my External Affairs Minister. They can threaten our diplomats. They can put posters there. They can threaten the entire Hindu population of Canada. Yet, because I am Canada, I am neighbor of America, and I am a white man, I have the liberty. I can go away with it. Doesn't his father's foundation has got money from CCP? Yes, he has got. His father was a very good friend of Fidel Castro. So that communism link and that anti-India hatred has been always running in their blood. But it's unfortunately our people who go and run things, and it is because of that he has been able to live and flourish. Because this white man supremacy, I have to be direct here, is he thinks he can get away with it. Because why is the plumber on a no-fly list? What the hell? How many plumbers in Canada are on a no-fly list? And any of them who gets killed, is it that we have done it? How do you know we have done it? Why should we go and hit a plumber? And what was your plumber doing in Pakistan? Why did he go to Pakistan? Why was your intelligence agency protecting him? Why was he running terrorist camps in Canada? Why was he radicalizing the youth?
Yeah.
Do you have answers for that? No, you don't have answers. You are just putting mere allegations.
Yeah.
And one thing has to be very clear to the world. We as a nation of 1.4 billion people have a right to self-defense. Security of our people is also paramount. Our people are not skin ducks who can be eliminated as per your whims and fancies, and your plumbers become national assets and national treasures which have to be taken up in parliament, and you have to start a diplomatic war with us.
Okay, all right. I'm out of time, but a lot of relevant points made by all my speakers over here. Thank you all for joining me on this debate.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.